Sup shitters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track by an artist named Lazarus Benson titled Monster. Gonna switch over to here. We got the album art here. We've got a Frankenstein and Frankenstein's Bride here. Now this track, I mean, at the time you're seeing this review, it'll have been released. I'm listening to it a little bit in advance, so this comes out in late April as I understand it. We're going to listen to this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear, can we move that a little bit? We're going to hear, right, come here, what we think. Let's go. I'm liking that little build there, it's kind of neat. Oh. Man, those synths and kick are so clean, dude. Nice reverb to them too. Interesting bass line and overall harmony and how they intertwine.
I should have known that this wasn't right, from the fur on your neck and the blood in your eyes.
Cool, tying in the monster theme immediately with that hook.
Like wolves in the night, and you won't let go until it all dies. This is the curse that comes.
Oh no, this is the verse.
Say anything, but it's just a lie. I'm grabbing the stake, I'm ending tonight. And when you're asleep at your heart, I will find. I'll puncture it deep until I find the person you were before it died. I'm breaking.
Damn, man, I'm loving the story that he's telling. It's really interesting. It's really easy to sort of visualize, you know, to imagine. I'm liking how, you know, you can kind of relate it to someone changing over time and trying to see if there's any humanity left inside of them after them, you know, how they mutated, you know. It's a brutal transition, you know. Sometimes you can't even recognize them anymore.
Your chains, I won't be confined, 'cause I wanted you, not the monster you hide. Let's go! Tired of problems, sick of the games. No, I can love the monster that you became. Tired of problems, sick of the games. No, I can love the monster that you became.
Yeah, I called it. Nice. All right, cool. I'm liking the intensity in the hook as well. Like, there's a little bit of extra layering in there in the instrumental section. Really kind of focusing on that concept of kind of tolerating the kind of BS that's going on, you know. Whoever they are has become a little bit too much to handle, and you really don't know how to cope, and you're just trying to sort of cut through it and figure out what's real and what's not. That's a very resonant bass near that boom, boom. It's a very blunt bass. I'm glad it wasn't put any louder in the mix, otherwise it might have been a little bit overpowering. Although that said, the mastering is pretty solid in this track. Mixing and mastering.
You're wearing my skin like the creep that you are, destroying everything I would miss so far from the pins in your face. I could tell you love scars, 'cause you don't have a soul, so you harvest what is ours. You're haunting my dreams with your claws that I see. They puncture me deep, killing my reality. 'Cause you don't want love, you just wanna see us bleed. 'Cause you're two-faced and worthless, a penny was to me. Tired of the game, sick of your way.
And damn, man, what are we going into here actually? Nice little extra kind of synth on the top, like a bit of a brighter kind of punchier kind of one to layer on the second chorus. It's dope. There's gradual development of that main musical theme throughout. I think this is really refreshing, eh? I'm loving that sort of the modulation on the vocals as well. I think that's quite charming. This guy's got a range on him and he's reasonably comfortable in his own skin as a vocalist and as a musician. Nice little bit of sizzle on his voice at that low range. Love it that no one can love the monster that you became. I'm digging how that's kind of been continued this entire time, you know, like really focusing on that concept of no one can love you for who you are right now. You really need to change. And slowing it down a little bit for a sort of a different kind of delivery. crazy early 2010s kind of punchy, like, rough leads. So thick and luscious, man. And that gentle fade out. Alright. Alright. I see where we're going with this. That track was very charming. I love the personality behind it. I love the authenticity behind the performance. I think stylistically cohesive. You know, the artwork matches the lyrics, matches... the music was kind of very matter of fact. It was a nice kind of midpoint between, like, the intensity of what was discussed and the vocal section. It was a nice way to kind of moderate it, I suppose. If they'd gone too sort of dark with the instrumentation, it might have just gone a little bit too edgy. Do you know what I mean? Especially with a single, you want to be able to discuss this kind of stuff without really putting yourself in the box of everything needs to be aggressive and sort of horrendous. You don't want to be too literal, otherwise people either feel patronized or they think you're that kind of artist in that one genre and they kind of pull away a little bit or maybe look elsewhere. I think this was a really good first impression of Lazarus. It's great that they're going to be releasing this. It'll be cool to see what they do next. I mean, the music is about relationships, so I can only assume looking at the artwork. But it could also apply to anyone. I know I was kind of vague before when I was talking about the situation where, like, you know, someone changes over time, and I'm going to edit that so that it's a lot more succinct. But again, really, for anyone listening to this for the first time, most people can relate to this. It was interesting to hear them talk about their sort of relationship issues, which is not always an easy thing to make happen. Again, the swagger in the singing and that modulation again, like there's a little bit of tuning going on there that was kind of cool. Like the vibrato section at the end of the final hook was kind of nice. And while the instrumentation itself, it was a minimalist kind of composition. There wasn't a whole lot of crazy changes going on, as I mentioned before. That development was, again, very well calculated without becoming too alien from the starting section. That fade in, that kind of build at the start was very cool, and it kind of mirrored the fade out at the end. And you could hear all the different elements at all times, again, aside from that bass, which was still good, just I'm really glad they didn't put that any higher in the mix. But that is effectively my review of Lazarus Benson's Monster. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm not really sure what else to say about this one. It's some of the freshest production I've heard. There's so much life to it. I'm glad it wasn't any cleaner than that, as it may have detracted too far from what was being discussed in the subject material of, you know, because while you don't want to go too heavy in the kind of like really gritty stuff on a single maybe, unless you're like in a genre that's known for that, like obviously if this was metal, you know, it would all be friggin' full on, you know, but like you also don't want to go too far away so that it seems disingenuous. I think Lazarus Benson has hit the nail on the head with this one. Told a story that was engaging, and yeah, ain't got time for those games. But thank you for watching this review of Lazarus Benson's Monster. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do check out Lazarus Benson's various social medias. I'm assuming that they'll have released this on Spotify and other major platforms like Apple Music and all that around the time this review comes out. Stay cool, stay safe. Please also remember to support your local musicians and artists. At this point in time, we just need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spider hands out. Yeah. Actually, I'm not quite done. I feel like I'm selling the song short a little bit. I really want to know if they produce the music themselves or not. Because, like, it was incredibly articulate. The way everything was sounding was very articulate. I'd love to know more about their production process. So if they want to... Lazarus, if you're watching this and you want to talk to me about how you made this track, it'd be really cool. I'd be really keen. But yeah, sorry. Catch you later. Spider hands out.